We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino, and we have a 3-hour banger lined up for you today. A lot on the NBA and the NHL playoffs. Today's Major League Baseball card, some NFL draft as well. Henry Abbott on the program to talk NBA playoffs for a full half hour. That's coming in 30 minutes from right now. What a great time of year it is, Pauly, as we get 2 more play-in games tonight and the playoffs beginning tomorrow. 7 combined games in the NBA and the NHL, and I'm super excited for this game because of the Hornets playoff bet at 14-1 going back now 10 months. And that can cash tonight with this win on the road potentially against the Orlando Magic. Mm-hmm. And I was just talking, we were doing a little crosstalk with JVT and Stormy after their show ended and ours began. And I told JVT that this game on paper screams Charlotte all day long in a potential blowout. And that scares the daylights out of me. Don't you think that that's the case?
Well, you got one team playing great ball since January, and another team a major disappointment who can't stand their coach and appears just wants to get the season over.
Uh-huh.
I also was thinking about this driving in. Like, if you're a member of the organization or a fan, you got to be this could be a home court disadvantage tonight where the Boo Birds are out. You were the 7th seed last year. You give up 4 picks to get Bane. You're playing tonight just to get to the 8 and face Detroit and be in the 1-8. So everything went wrong this year. And then your star player, Bencaro, who, as Zach Cohen wrote in the preview today, VSiN, every time they made a run against Philly, he'd do something stupid and take a bad shot or turn the ball over. So they're only 500 this year against the East. We've been through all the numbers, how Charlotte has played since January and the Buzz City Killers. Couple of concerns. Number one, it looks too easy. Will LaMelo play hero ball? I can't have 2 for 16 from 3 and taking ill-advised shots and shoot. Miller needs to be a big focus. Kobe White saved their bacon in the last game. He's got to be a facilitator, and he's got to drive to the basket and cut out the ill-advised threes. Does Knipple step up after he was benched? And then Moose is questionable. And you got to have Diabate because they are number 2 in the league in offensive rebounding percentage. They had 25 second-chance points in the win against Miami. They got to have this guy, but he played hurt in that game. But the positive is they were awful and still won the game, and they're still here. So that's the positive with Charlotte, and they're the better team, and they've been on a roll. And as you pointed out many times, they're a better road team.
Yes, and I'll have those numbers for you in a second to go over those one more time for the people who might not be aware of how good Charlotte has been, specifically on the road. You mentioned Diabate. Opta AI projections at vsin.com. He is the number 1 edge tonight. With his points, by the way, 8+ points. They have a plus 14.9% edge on him to score that many tonight. Also, I would say this. I think they're expecting a low-scoring game. Major unders for points at vsin.com with the projections by Bencaro, Wagner, White, Ball, Black, and Carter. And Black and Carter are by far and away the strongest unders. Like they're expecting these players to do basically nothing. And one of the biggest edges overall as well is Batazzi with the rebounds, 5+. They project 7.22 out of him tonight. They made 5+ minus 549. He's even money. And here you go. Overall, the Charlotte Hornets offensive rating on the road. The Nuggets were 121.7, Celtics 120.2, the Hornets 118.8. That's for the full season. Also, they tied for the 4th best net rating overall on the road. If you break it down and go from when the calendar flipped to July 1st, I checked that, January 1st, 2026 to right now, 19-6 overall on the road, best record in the league, 123.3 offensive rating, which would be the best in the history of the sport over a full season, a plus 12.7 net rating, ahead of San Antonio at 10.6 and Oklahoma City at 10.2. And full season, they were 24-17 ATS on the road. And the Magic have just been awful. And they're a bad basketball team. And again, they're a lame duck coach. We can't have this team make the playoffs.
No one wants to see it. You're right about that. And the 3 wins were by a combined 61 points too, what Charlotte did during the regular season. From an Orlando standpoint, I'm all about Bane and Bane props here. So at least score 20 points. He cashed plus 850 in the last game, most points. He's plus 650 tonight. And again, when he puts his head down and is aggressive and goes to the basket, not to mention he's deadly from outside, I think he's the biggest problem here for Charlotte. And Banchero just going through the motions and the silly 6 turnovers in the loss against Philadelphia as well. But plenty of guys that can score. And Bridges was great, too, in the win. So along this streak since January, when they've been so good, there's so many guys that can score, and they've been so potent with the net rating and the offense and the defense. But, again, it comes down to LaMelo for me. How are you going to play? Are you going to get everyone involved? Are you going to attack the basket? Are you going to settle? And it's okay. If Knepel doesn't have it, though, as well, I think his prop is too high at 18 points.
So do I.
But who knows? Because he has struggled down the stretch. It wasn't just a bad performance getting benched against Miami. But, White can come in. Miller needs more shots. And several guys that can score. Bridges as well, as I mentioned how well he played. But to me, it's all about no hero ball. Trust your teammates here if you're LaMelo. Yeah,
and I want to say that if Charlotte wins the game tonight, they could obviously make it pretty interesting against Detroit in that 1-8 matchup.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Good luck to you. But
if Orlando wins, it's maybe a 4-game sweep.
Fair enough. The Pistons did bully ball them, but yeah, I will agree with that. Orlando has no shot. Did you see anything from game leader's standpoint?
Not in this one, no.
Nothing? Okay.
No.
Yep. And they also, William Hill and Caesars has both. Every game they have both teams to score in the first minute, like plus 160 in that range.
Is that
right?
Different
ball game compared to college. They did it for every March Madness game.
That's right.
But this is now interesting with the shorter shot clock.
They offer a no on that?
Crazy pace. I believe they do.
Okay.
Yes, I believe they do.
Okay.
But that's not bad. And I give them credit. The books are doing a great job. We'll get to it later with the creativity for all the props in the NBA playoffs.
Yep. And I'll tell you, if I'm hedging my Hornets 14-1 ticket coming up in about 10 minutes here.
Yeah, you have to.
On the show. Well, maybe. I don't.
You're in a great situation.
I don't have to, but I'll tell you if I'm going to or not.
Was there too much celebration with Golden State over the Clippers?
Especially with Kerr when he said that and made those comments after the game, like we're back, and he pounded the chest, pounded the table, and he's talking about Curry, and he goes, for one night again, we're champions. So maybe I did take the 3.5 with them, and it's down at 2.5 right now here at Circa. Anyway, there's a little bit of juice on that one. So maybe they just wanted to do it one more time for old time's sake, and that was it. But do they want to make the playoffs? If they want to make the playoffs and take on Oklahoma City, they win the game tonight. I trust the experience, and they have Steph Curry and the Suns don't. Bam. Right. Pretty simple to me.
Are they healthy, though? Porzingis questionable. They got to have him. And Horford a little bit banged up, too. But how they played in the last 8 minutes of the Clipper game. Beautiful offense, bombs away from 3, and that was an excellent performance. But now with 3 guys on a minutes restriction, and the same thing with Phoenix. You got Williams and Grayson Allen questionable, too.
Sure.
And they got to have Grayson Allen. But that's what concerns me about Phoenix. Brooks was great shooting. You get that game from Green, and you still lose.
Yeah.
So
I don't expect Green to have a game similar to that in this one tonight.
I don't think Brooks will shoot like that either. So I just how well Green played, Porzingis, Horford, they also have a lot of dudes that can score. And that's why I like Curry for most made threes in the game tonight. Curry is also the chalk, obviously, to have the most points in the game, but I think most threes at $1.30 is a good bet as well tonight.
How about this? If you can find numbers on will there be a technical in the game tonight, or maybe multiple technicals.
Oh, that's good.
Because there's a chance here, if this game gets a little ugly, meaning that one team's winning by double digits late, you have Draymond Green and Dylan Brooks in this game. They are both hotheads with short fuses. Mm-hmm. And, if it gets super physical, I'd actually be surprised if one of those guys do not get teed up tonight in a situation if it plays out like that. So I don't know how many books would actually offer a technical foul prop, but I would absolutely look at it if the number was right for this game. I didn't take the plus 130 on the Golden State money line, but the 3.5, I had to take that. They played 4 games this year. The Dubs beat them the first time they played by 11. The Suns got them by a point. After that, they played 2 games in 3 days. And then Golden State beat them the other 2 games. One game was by 3. The other one was by 4. So they played basically 4 close games this year. And Golden State beat them 3 different times. So if this is a close game tonight, taking the 3.5, I think was my better play than taking Warriors in the money line here.
Santos props again?
I did take that. And I'm tailing Zach Cohen again on vsin.com. It's because they adjusted the points and the rebounds by like 3 for this game. It was 15.5 last game. It's up to 18.5. And Zach, great breakdown again on the website. Points, rebounds, and assists. I got 21.5 over minus 102 on him. The guy's been absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I'm also concerned about Booker running out of gas. He's carried this team for much of the year, and if you don't have Grayson Allen, and he's expected to do a lot here, 26 points per game, that might be a concern too tonight as well.
Yeah.
But there's a great organization in what they've done, but they really celebrated hard in some of the comments after the win against the Clippers.
I don't disagree with
again.
that.
You're right. Got to do it again.
Yep. By the way, I'm wearing the brand new from the store.
Yes.
The vsin.com store, the brand new vsin hoodie. Super comfortable, super warm. And you're probably asking right now, well, why are you wearing that today if you live in Las Vegas? It actually got down to like below 60 today. Very windy, cold, probably the last day of the year I can wear it. And if you want to check it out, you can go to vsin.com/store to check out the hoodie and all the other merchandise that we have available right now. I also put it up on my Instagram feed. Mitch Moss, very easy to find on Instagram. Quick video of it with the link up there as well if you want to go check that out. I have the long sleeve shirt on top of that and the hoodie. I'm actually kind of sweating right now. Sweating like Sean Miller. Not quite that bad, but by the end of the show, I might be. Win-lose coming up next. Pauly's going to recap a lot of the betting action from last night, and I'll tell you if I'm hedging this Hornets ticket at 14-1 to make the playoffs coming up.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with vsin Pro. With vsin Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using vsin Pro to cash more bets.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Ask and you shall receive at Caesars. Every NBA playoff game, both teams to score in the first minute. There's a yes and a no. There's your instant gratification.
Yeah.
That's something. Rockies plus 134. Padres win. They've won 8 in a row. Angels plus 240. Sharks plus 135 in hockey. Blues plus 105. Oilers 290 up to 365. Punished Vancouver. Avalanche 190 up to 220. They won 2-0. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com. Our radio and podcast friends, you always want to see these tweets and videos. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. Look at this. Liz Kim was hanging out today. I'm going to go watch some day baseball and have a couple pops. He went to Copper Keg. They have several locations in Las Vegas. He's playing Ultimate X. And here's one of them. Now here's what happened. He's playing 10 play, and he starts on dimes, triple-double. and he gets aces and a kicker 4 times. Then he gets it again. So then he's got ammo, and he steps it up to a quarter. And then he gets dealt the full house. So that means every hand is 12 times, and then it comes ace, 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 2. So it's triple-double. Tastes the same as a Royale with cheese. You hold the kicker. And he got one. So he turned the 4,000 into some ammo, upped it to quarters, and then hit another 12,000. Just hanging out because he wanted to have a beer and watch some day baseball on getaway day.
That's an unbelievable feeling when you get dealt that hand after the full house comes and make it 12 times, which rarely happens that way.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing.
Do you hold the kicker?
I do not.
I think you have to.
I do not hold the kicker.
Lou, call Dancer. Call Bob Dancer.
Or text Frank B.
Text Frank B. It pays the same as a Royal. But
I know that.
Four aces pay so much.
Yes, absolutely. I want as many chances at just getting 4 aces, even if the kicker doesn't come. So I would not have held the deuce. But he did, and he popped one, so who am I to sit here and tell him that it was a mistake? I don't know. Randy McKay also will know the answer to this.
Yeah. And he also got the same situation twice on dimes, which allowed him to have the ammo and be up $4,000 to step up his game, and he got another one. But the guy had like an $18,000 day yesterday.
Yeah, because look at the machine. So that paid $12,000, whatever. The machine says, what, $16,000 right there, or $18,000, whatever it is. Yeah,
absolutely. Good for you. FTM at vsin.com. Send them in. How about this? We can go to the moon, but we can't watch an NBA game without technical difficulties on Amazon. But the dog welcomes the owner back from space. How about this feeling?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. The lady astronaut comes back, and there he is. Hey, I want to play. Jordan, my buddy, does that all the time. Hey, okay, let's play with the toy. Let's play fetch as soon as you come home. That's awesome. Look at the tail. I got one Monday that's gold, where the guy's coming back from the airport, and the dog knows what time it is based on where the terminal is. Excellent. That's good. Lose some, the L.A. Kings, no good. Hey, John Davis told you. They've lost 8 in a row now in Calgary. 145 up to 180. And the Royals blew it in the 9th. The A's also blew it as well. There's shenanigans with the bullpens all day yesterday. Sports calendar never stops. Sharp Plays covers it all. They've been winning for 15 straight years. When the Sharp Plays moves, the books take notice. Great insider intel. They find the value before the numbers shift. Sharp Plays pulls in selections and intel from over 500 pro bettors and sources worldwide across all sports, and they push that info to subscribers in real time. Start winning with them. SharpPlays.com. What are you doing, kid?
Yeah, I'm taking the 3.5 with the Magic.
Yeah, because you also won in the last game.
Right, so that's part of the reason why. And I just, honestly, I thought that number against the Heat was too high at 6, based on how the Heat had played the team the entire year, and they were fully healthy basically going into that game. So I took the 6, won that one, and so we're going to roll that over tonight and put it on the Magic plus the 3.5, which is still out there at plenty of shops. I'm not taking the money line. If the maybe I could do some other stuff in play, but I'll take the 3.5, and hopefully then the Hornets can walk out of there with a win of between 1 and 3 points and win both yet again. But that's the play. Got to do it because again, these bets now have been in pocket at 11, 12, and 14 to 1, and the Hornets to make the playoffs for it's almost a year. So I definitely want to capitalize and show something for that.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't and the Magic would happen to win the game outright, I would just be completely sick to my stomach.
What would be interesting is the series price if Charlotte wins. Because they've been so good since January, and they have a high power rating, and this is a disrespected 1 seed. Although Detroit matched up well with them in the regular season. Maybe they won't be that big of a favorite.
You know, the Hornets are the 5th shot on the board to win the East. The 5th.
Damn.
Not even in the playoffs yet. So.
Not a bad path. Not that difficult. If they get past Detroit, they could probably beat Cleveland.
Yeah. That'd be
fellow conference finals.
Yep.
What do you think happens with Kawhi Leonard? Is it it?
Well,
you said yesterday they got to trade him. But
I think if
they
were
might
smart,
not have
they
a choice. Maybe they just void the contract once this ruling comes in with aspiration.
Yeah.
Whatever happens with Ballmer. But I've heard the Golden State stuff already with Kawhi.
Well, the Heat are the short shots offshore.
Mm-hmm. They have to make a move.
And the
Pat
Heat
Riley
will.
has got to deliver.
Yeah, and I believe that he will. And they know this, right? 4 years now in a row, playing in the play-in game.
Well, they went after Giannis, and they had a strong offer.
And I think they're going to do that, too. So they'll take their shots at both Kawhi Leonard and Giannis Antetokounmpo in the offseason. Could they get both? That seems very unlikely. But he'll probably swing for both of them. And if they land one, they'll be super happy with that.
Yeah. How about Philly, 18-1?
To win the East?
No. Kawhi to go to Philly.
Oh, to go to Philly. What's the return package?
Well, it's more based on what if they void the contract, and then it's a free-for-all.
Okay.
I'm looking at it that way, too.
Because I would actually, if you're the Clippers and it had to be a trade, would you take Embiid?
No.
I don't know if I would either.
No.
I think
you can't even play 40 games.
Yeah, you can get a lot better for that if it comes down to a trade for Kawhi Leonard.
That'd be hilarious if Paul George was in the trade.
Oh, jeez. Can you imagine that?
I'll come to L.A., but you have to go get Paul George. So give up SGA and all these picks, right? That would be good.
Well, he should be on the move, by the way. This is now, it's been a long time since he won that title at Toronto, believe it or not. That was 2019. And it's been nothing but a complete flop during the run here with the Clippers.
They choked in the bubble, blew a 3-1 series lead.
That's right.
And then other times they had good teams and he couldn't stay healthy. And then last year was an abomination. They were better and favored to beat Denver, and they blew that series. Lost in 7 and no-showed in Game 7. So it's too bad what's happened.
Yep. This is on X. You can always tweet the show when we're live here at VSiN Live at Mitch Moss Radio at Pauly Howard. This is from Lance, who has had hell of a day betting this Cubs game. Because he knew the wind was blowing out, and he was taking guys with total bases and also hits, runs, RBIs, and home run props, and he cashed a lot of that stuff. But this is in response to me locking in a profit with the Magic tonight. He said the Seahawks looked so easy. I don't like how the line hasn't moved, but I think people are trying to outthink the room tonight on this Hornets ticket. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Again, I said earlier, you're right. The Seahawks, it looked so easy against the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and it played out that way. And tonight, the same thing. I totally agree. This looks like it should be almost a romp for Charlotte. But how often does it actually play out like that?
I'll give you one I'm looking at tomorrow to start the day. This is a huge series for Donovan Mitchell.
It is.
He's never made the conference finals. He's had some unbelievable individual performances. And remember that matchup against Murray in the bubble when they blew the 3-1 series lead, but how well they both played and they went off. I would say most points scored, game leader tomorrow, and most made threes, $1.70 in the series. I think he has a big series. They win in 5, and then we'll see what happens against Detroit. But I think he comes out and sets the tone, and he gets his, and Harden's more of a facilitator, and Mitchell goes off against Toronto.
Did you see the series price on Mitchell to lead in points?
It's $4.
Or higher.
Yeah.
Or higher.
I can't argue.
I was looking at other guys to make the case for him. I really can't.
I wouldn't. Yeah, and Caesar's offers, will someone score 40 or 50 points in the series too? So that maybe Mitchell's done that. He's capable of doing that as well.
Right.
So I think he will score 40 points in a game in this series also.
Now, how about this? The games, I saw a stat today, the early games on Saturday and Sunday, meaning if it's 1:30 Eastern time or earlier, 11-5 to the under going back. Just it's a very early bat. They're not used to playing games that early in the league, and so there's that angle possibly. But also I would throw this in there. The totals have been really suppressed here for these games, and I actually think that some of these games, like the Laker totals 206.5, on accident. I mean, they could get there.
Yeah, absolutely, it could. Yep, that might be an overreaction. No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely, it could be.
Yep. How about this? We hit it last year with Bennett at 40-1. Wedgwood, Conn Smythe, 70-1. He led the league in save percentage and goals against.
Okay.
Colorado allowed the fewest goals this year as well, and the highest scoring team.
Say no more. I'm in.
You don't? Yeah.
Yes,
I think you have to look at that.
Yeah, sure.
That they're so good defensively, and this guy's going to put up big numbers.
Yep. Henry Abbott on the program coming up next with True Hoop. How ugly is this situation in the Orlando Magic locker room as they get ready to play the Hornets tonight to make the playoffs?
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Here we go, some hardcore hoops. Henry Abbott, kind enough to join us on a Friday for the next 2 segments. TrueHoop.com is the website, and this is really cool. They are going live once a week on YouTube. You can go to the website. You can submit your questions. It's all there at TrueHoop.com, and they're very good, obviously, on the sport. They know it inside and out, and he joined us now on the Progressive Guest Line. Henry, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Good. The reason to join our live thing is because of David Thorpe. He's the real basketball expert. I'm just like the bald guy.
Well, no. David's been on the show many times. David's amazing as well.
Yeah.
Let's get your thoughts on the first play-in game tonight in the Eastern Conference. And we've heard, all the rumors, all the reports about how nasty it might be right now between the players and their head coach, Jamal Mosley, might not be back. You've heard everything. How ugly do you think it is in that locker room right now?
I mean, the crux of what I've heard is that Paolo Banchero doesn't want to play for Jamal Mosley, which to me, I don't know exactly why. It's kind of sad, though, because just a year ago, there was such a great story, and Jamal Mosley was, the coach every team wanted.
Yeah.
Right. And I wonder if he will be again, assuming he loses his job. They should be way better. They have this weird problem of both their stars can't shoot, and they're not improving. Right. And so I don't know how it's going to work. Maybe it's a poorly constructed team. But what I heard is that they won't have Banchero for long, and they might not have Mosley for long, and they're going to build around Wagner. But if I were another team, I would think about seeing if they're looking for radical change. Maybe you can get Franz Wagner.
Okay.
Wow.
Interesting. How about the flip side? How well Charlotte's played, but I don't know what LaMelo Ball I'm going to get. He was so good when he was attacking the rim in the win against Miami, but 2 of 16 from 3 and a lot of ill-advised shots and a lot of bad shots. What do you think of his game, and what do you expect from him tonight?
It would be so much simpler to answer that question if he weren't so good, right? Like I'm not a fan. And in particular, there was an episode in that game where he hit maybe his first 3, hit 1 3, and then just in like the jubilation of that one, measured success, he shot an absolutely ridiculous off the dribble 3, and then maybe the next play down he turned the ball over in traffic with like attempting a crazy pass. And I just felt like you could see he was like physically still electrified by his 1-3. And it was almost like a John Starks in the finals 2 for 18 kind of deal for him. And so, David Thorpe made fun of him years ago for literally while playing defense in an NBA game, he did that thing where you pick up your shoe and wipe the sole of it to get the dust off, like while he was playing D. So it just seems like he has a major lack of focus, but that isn't to say you can't win with him, right? This year they've proved they can get him to lock in a lot more, and there have been players like him in the past who've done pretty well. So I'm so thankful not to be a fan of this team and trying to like warp my brain to convince myself that he's a winner. I have a little piece of paper here with a cheat sheet of who I'd pick, and I kind of only because the Magic seems so messed up. Do I think the Hornets will probably win this game? But I don't think it'll be. And it's not a lock.
Yeah, no,
I would defeat themselves easily. Yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah, do you think if the Hornets advance because they have played so well now since January, they could actually give Detroit a series?
I do. We wrote about that on True Hoop a little bit. David Thorpe made this case that the Pistons are playoff inexperienced and the Hornets play super hard, right? Since they put Moussa Diabate in the starting lineup, they've been a different team, and they're just that kind of feisty. It'll be a very feisty series and fun to watch. And I think the Pistons will win, but I don't think they're going to roll.
Okay. How about the Toronto and Cleveland? And a lot of pressure on Atkinson and also Mitchell. They acquire Harden. They've been 18th in defense since the trade. Can Toronto make it interesting? They've been 500 since December.
There's something wrong with Toronto, too. I mean, I love Scotty Barnes so much, and I want him to win super well. And I love that Toronto collected all of these just dogged point of attack defenders. I feel like they have a good strategy there, but something's not working. I don't totally understand what it is. I think the Cavaliers are going to get kind of embarrassed with their high payroll at some point in these playoffs, but not this early. I think that they'll win this one.
Okay, so bad matchup overall, you think, for Toronto going into it?
Yeah, actually, well, look, again, I'm leaning on Thorpe here, but, Harden's defense has been terrible in the advanced stats. Basically, Thorpe's take is that a guy that age, that experienced, who's really good post defender, he's like, I think he'll just see his best defense in the playoffs, which he just can't do all regular season. He's just too old and tired, but at his best, he's a pretty darn good defender, and maybe that makes the whole effect much better.
Yeah. Joel Embiid has officially been ruled out for game 1. What do you think the best case scenario is for him in this series against Boston?
I mean, I don't know who to believe, but I heard he's not coming back at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but that was a few days ago. But he's got so many injuries. I don't know. I think one of the big problems with him is, well, at least there was a story in the playoffs a few years ago that I was pretty involved in, and I was there in person, and the story was basically that he wouldn't take advice from the medical staff. That's a little bit of an oversimplification, but you get the idea.
Uh-huh.
And so, every time he comes back, I'm like, is it smart? He's re-injured himself, 30 times? I just feel like they're not going to win this series. They're playing the Celtics. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? Like, they're just not going to win the series. I'd much rather see them move on and build around Tyrese Maxey, who's wonderful, but they just don't have the right horses around him yet.
Would you give Mazzulla Coach of the Year?
I would really think about it. I mean, what a surprise, right? I mean, I wrote a story that was about how dumb the Celtics were to give away all the parts that make a championship team, and they're fine. They're totally fine. They got like Anthony Simons in a bag of chips, and they're like, "Yeah, don't worry, we can still win like that." It's
incredible.
Just amazing.
Yeah,
just amazing. Yeah.
Well, if Embiid actually was healthy for the entire series, and we knew that he was going to play like all 7 games, do you think a fully healthy Sixers team could actually give Boston a run for their money?
I don't. I really don't. I think the Celtics are just the class of the East. I think they're way better. And if someone's going to give them trouble, it's not going to be the Sixers.
How about the Knicks in Atlanta? A lot of people think the Hawks can give them problems here. Brunson was awesome in the last regular season game in the fourth quarter. The conundrum with Atlanta is the record to close was so good, but they also got hit by the deck with the schedule. So what do you think of Knicks?
Right.
Kind of a short favor, 280 in that range, series price against Atlanta.
Look, I love picking underdogs, and I wanted to pick underdogs if I could, and it's hard. So far, you asked me about 3 series, and I picked favorites in every one. This is one of the ones where I'm like, oh, I think it could be close. But the fact is, as much as I'm excited about the Hawks story and the trade for CJ McCollum, didn't get a lot of love when it happened, but he's been great. I think he's been becoming a free agent, I'm pretty sure, so he's going to be super motivated. I think the Hawks can make it interesting, but I really do think the Knicks are just a better team.
Yeah. I am also concerned that Atlanta is going to have nobody down low defensively to slow down Towns. He killed them in the regular season. Brunson's the man. He's so good, but at least they have Daniels and, Alexander Walker. They can throw at Brunson and maybe neutralize him a little bit. I think Towns should be able to get what he wants in this series. What do you think?
I thought, Knicks fans were all bummed about Towns most of this season, but I just remember him in the playoffs last year when he was the best he's ever been. Right? I loved watching him play. He was like a guard part of the time. He was such beasting everybody. He was just, he's one of the best big man shooters of all time. And then when he's grabbing every rebound, I thought he was spectacular. I don't know if we can expect that again, but if he's like that, then I love the Knicks.
Okay, so you said that you can't see the Sixers giving the Celtics a series at all. They're not the team. How do you think a Knicks-Celtics series would go this year?
It's pretty fun. I still think the Celtics are going to roll everybody in the East, except like maybe they stumble a little on the Pistons. But I think the Celtics are going to the finals, to be honest. I know that's not very fun for Knicks fans to hear, but I live near New York and we talk about it all the time. But yeah, I think it's just too bad for the Knicks that they're pretty darn good at the time that the Celtics are great.
Why is Detroit, you think, the 4th best odds to win the East after being the 1 seed? And
is that so?
Yeah, can you believe that? And they still won games without Cade. So I think this is a disrespect.
It's probably because David Thorpe makes the odds. Yeah. Thorpe's just all big on playoff experience. He just thinks it's the biggest deal ever.
So, he loves Wemby, though. Is he down on San Antonio? Because
he is. He gives San Antonio like a minuscule chance to win.
Oh, my God.
Which is amazing. Now, I think he's generally right, and I defer to him on most things, but I will tell you that we had these same... So it comes down to kind of the Spurs debate right now, a little bit the Pistons. What does playoff experience mean? Mm-hmm. And, and he says it means everything or close. And I will tell you that that's probably true, except we said that a year ago. He was saying that about Oklahoma City when I was saying the Thunder were going to win, and I won that one. So maybe I could be right this time again, too.
Well, a lot of people are bringing up the examples of when you had that future ticker, what happened against Dallas. They were the 1 seed.
Oh, Oklahoma
They were the
City,
better team. That was when P.J. Washington went out.
Yeah, I got him in 6 games that year.
Somehow, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was 1 year too early in Oklahoma City when they were the 1 seed that season. So hang tight. We're talking NBA here. Henry Abbott is awesome. TrueHoop.com. And again, as a reminder, they're going live once a week on YouTube. You can go to the website, TrueHoop.com, submit some questions there. They'll answer them live on the air, and they're excellent at breaking down matchups, players, data, all of it. And we're going to continue with Henry Abbott coming up next. We'll get into the other playing game that we have tonight, Warriors and Suns. And we'll ask him why the Spurs elected not to try really to win on Sunday. So now they potentially get the Nuggets in the second round coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We continue talking NBA playoffs here. Henry Abbott on the Progressive Guest Line, TrueHoop.com. They're going live once a week on YouTube. You can send in your questions there, submit them on the website, TrueHoop.com. So we talked East first segment. Here we'll go West. And tonight's playing game, Warriors against the Suns. The Suns about a 3-point favorite at home tonight in this game. Pauly and I talked about this to begin the show today, Henry, and that is, did the Warriors maybe celebrate a little bit too much with that win the other night against the Clippers?
I was thinking the same thing. When Steph Curry made that big three and kind of tumbled into the front row of the stands, and we had this remembrance of what it used to be like in the heyday of Steph Curry. And I just thought to myself, it's like, this could be the last time he does that, right? He might have 100 more, but it's not guaranteed. He's 37. This is way past the expiration date for most NBA players. And I wouldn't be surprised if they celebrated that much, because they kind of know that they're on borrowed time, right? I think Steve Kerr said he had to train for how long? I forget, like weeks, just to get back to be ready for that one game. So yeah, the Warriors were impressive, and the Clippers felt the brunt of it, but I think the Suns are better. And of course it doesn't matter after, once you get the Thunder, they're all going to lose, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then, next year and beyond, like I can't imagine the Warriors can rebuild around Steph in a way that's going to make them matter in the Western Conference. So, these are the last days of, unless Steph's on a different team, these are the last days of Steph, hitting game winners with playoff implications for a while, I would guess.
You might be right. How about a team with a bright future? And I know you're a Blazers guy. So impressed with Avia and how you know what he's going to do, but you can't stop it. Getting to the free throw line. The Spurs are massive favorites. Portland's been so good defensively. The young guys are playing well. Do you give the Blazers a puncher's chance here?
I might be the most up on the Blazers, partially because I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But the thing that so you mentioned Denny Avdia and the way the offense works. It's not a great offense. It's been like I think 14th or so all season. And the way it works is that Denny and now Scoot, that he's back healthy again, and Drew Holiday and Shaedon Sharpe have a pretty easy time getting the ball into the paint, and then they either score or get fouled or kick it out for threes. They're among the league leaders in threes attempted, but they're not especially good at threes made. In fact, a lot of the year they were the worst in the league at their rate of three-pointers made. But that has gone up significantly over the last couple of months, and I don't think it's just a statistical fluke, because one thing that happened is Matisse Thybulle came back. He's, I think, their best. He's like 41% this year, I'm pretty sure, which is about the best on the Blazers. So a lot of those threes are just going to a better shooter. And there's been like Scoot Henderson and Donovan Clingan have both had their three-point percentages not just bump up for a few games, but like steadily climb over a month, so that I think Donovan's up to 36 now, which is like league average, and Scoot over the last 2 months is at 40%. So everything we know about the Blazers is wrong if they're actually a decent three-point shooting team now. I think they're a team that are averaging like 38% over the last 15 games or so. So if they're a good three-point shooting team, then that matters, because now they're a phenomenal defensive team. Like Donovan Clingan is one of the, statistically one of the best defensive players in the league. And they just bring in, like, I don't even know who I think is the Blazers' best perimeter defender, but they have Drew Holiday, kind of famous for this, right? Tamani Kamara actually gets the toughest assignments every night. And then in dunks and threes advanced stats, Matisse Thybulle is the 6th best defender in the whole NBA. And they have all those guys together, along with Chris Murray's a top 10 percentile defender in the same stats. And Scott Henderson's gotten really feisty, and he creates turnovers, steals, and super athletic. So I do think that, any night that the Blazers shoot threes at a high rate, they're a threat to beat anybody.
Yep. I got to say, I mean, I love the Spurs team as much as anybody. I am going to be at least mildly surprised that the Blazers don't give them a tough matchup here. I really think that this can go 6 games, and like the games can be close.
I think that's right. How many games will the Blazers shoot well from 3? I don't know, but it feels to me like this will end in 6 games, something like that.
Okay, over 5.5 is 2-1. So I'm with you on that one. So everyone subscribe to True Hoop. I do. Everyone should subscribe to True Hoop. You mentioned what Thorpe said about the playoff experience. So I will then ask you, can you just flip the switch then? Denver was 21st in defense. Now that it's playoff time, are they going to lock people down? Or is it, okay, Gordon's back healthy, we're going to be fine? How do you see it that way, if that concerns you about Denver?
It's like you've been listening to our True Hoop calls. This is exactly like, this flipping the switch thing really doesn't happen very often, right? And when it does, it happens with teams that have won the championship in the past. They're the ones who seem to know more about this flipping the switch thing, right? But they have 2 really bad defenders on that team in those same stats I was just mentioning from dunks and threes. Jamal Murray and Tim Hardaway Jr. are some of the worst defenders in regular rotation in the playoffs on any contender. So that's not great. I think you can flip the switch to go up 10 spots, but not 20. Right.
Yeah.
I think there's the thing that I see when I watch them is, Jokic maybe doesn't want to cover up every Jamal Murray mistake all season because it's too much work, but he can really crank it up. When he gets that kind of super active, cranky Jokic, maybe their defense gets a lot better for that reason, or Aaron Gordon, indeed, as you mentioned, is wonderful. So I think they can be better, but I just don't think they're good enough. I really think that among the contenders, David's very high. David sees the Thunder as, more as like 50+% to win. And then the second most likely teams for him are the Celtics and the Nuggets, tied at 13%. I see the Nuggets as like 5%. For these reasons I've just been talking about. Like, I just think their defense just isn't good enough.
And by the way, let's not forget, they're taking on a team that made the Western Conference Finals back-to-back years, and a team that beat them a couple years ago. Nobody's talking about Minnesota here. And in terms of like the betting numbers, Denver is like an overwhelming favorite here. And I think that Minnesota can maybe win this series and at least make it interesting where they're close and at 6-7 games.
Yeah, I mean, you're making a great point. Why does nobody believe in Minnesota, right? Like, I noticed it in my head too. There just seems to be something. There's something like that's a bummer about that team. Just being honest. Like, they have Anthony Edwards, but somehow I don't get super excited to watch them, even though actually, and this year I think a little bit like Nicola Alexander-Walker blowing up somewhere else is like wasn't a great sign for just how the team culture works. Anyway, I still think the Nuggets will win this series, but you're right. The Timberwolves, I mean, no one should be surprised if they win this. As you point out, they've won a lot of playoff series in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and they also play their level of competition. They were the 6th best team in the NBA against other top 10 teams.
Very good.
Yeah.
So the Spurs are big into analytics, and we couldn't figure this out Sunday. I think the Spurs are going to regret this. I don't understand how you can make your path easier. If you beat Denver, who only played Joker on Sunday, now you got to beat Denver and OKC to get to the finals. If you would have won that regular season game, you only would have had to beat one of them. I think they're going to regret that. What do you think?
Yeah, you make a good point. I'm a big believer. I've probably written about the value of rest as much as anybody in injury prevention. And, Victor's body is, looks like it could break easily, right? Which is not a good assessment. But yeah, I'm usually on the side of resting. But that game was, that was at least a week, right? It was a week before they would play again. it's kind of a weird time to rest, right? A
Yeah.
week is a long time.
It's true. Yes, right.
Sunday to Sunday, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, yeah, it was a bit of a weird choice. They lost by 10, and they probably could have won. I think one thing that, Pop used to do this thing where he would sit his stars when they were getting blown out, and then the bench would come in, and if the bench fought back, he wouldn't bring the stars back. And then I talked to like Matt Bullard, and he was like, it means the world to us that we get to keep the game in our hands and win it. So, like, if the Spurs had been able to win without Victor, that would have been really something.
Yeah. Great stuff, Henry. Absolute pleasure taking the time to join us here on a Friday before the playoffs begin for 2 full segments. Can't thank you enough there. And again, everybody go to truehoop.com, subscribe, and they're going live once a week on YouTube. You can submit your questions there. It's all available when you go check out the website. Again, truehoop.com. Thanks, Henry. Enjoy the games.
Yeah, man, and we didn't get to talk about the Lakers not having much of a chance. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay. That's I mean, based on the numbers overall, the team that has the least chance to win basically in the first round. So, thank you again.
Appreciate you.
All right, thank
Good
you
job.
guys.
Join us here on the Progressive Guest Line.
There's an interesting prop that they have at DraftKings that I was looking at. They offer in every series, will a team go undefeated on the road or at home in just the series? So, for example, the Rockets could sweep or Rockets could win in 5, right? Will the Rockets win 2 home games is $1.70. What are they, a 10-point favorite?
Oh, yeah, they will be.
That's up on every series, but I'm like, wait a second. What if they...
Interesting.
What if LA gets game 1 and then they go back, okay, there's a scenario. All you have to do is win 2 home games.
That's right. And if it's even if it's a 5-game series,
that's right.
They're only playing 2 at home.
Yeah. It's worded, will you win every game on the road or every game at home?
Every game at home. Interesting. Good catch. We'll get to today's Major League Baseball card coming up next. I'll tell you about a pitcher who was laying a pretty heavy price based on how bad he's been to start the season next.